Welcome back. Well, yes, indeed, that is what we're focusing on this morning. And we've got Professor Tomori, who is the immediate past president, Nigerian Academy of Science. Good morning, Prof, and thank you for joining us today. Well, yeah, we've seen several reports and assessments about what we've done, where we are at the moment, what we plan doing, such that we could at least keep managing all of this so it doesn't get further out of hand. But from your vantage position, could you tell us, what is your assessment of how we've fared or how we've handled this in the last 1 year?
Thank you very much, and we're happy new month to all of us. My first reaction about how we fared is to look back on how we dealt with Ebola and what we're doing now. I think we have a basis of comparison. I think we didn't learn from the errors of the past. In spite of what people say, yes, we didn't have dead people on the road, we didn't have all that. It is not because of what we did, it is because of what the virus did not do. The epidemic of the virus differed from one part of the country to the world to another. So we shouldn't run into the wrong conclusion that it was because of our performance that the virus did not do what it did. The virus did not behave like it did in other parts of the world. But having said that, the numbers we give it to us are the numbers we have by default. Testing and all those things. So the recent study about the epidemiology shows us that we have like 3, 4, 5 times what we had. Right now it says that 75% of our people don't have immunity against the virus, which means they are still susceptible. So just like you said, we are not out of the woods yet.
SGF the other day on News at 10, while he was of the opinion that yes, he can thump his chest saying we've done well, and that they could leave a handbook of how they've handled some of this. And so how come there seems to be, we're seeing things from a different perspective?
Yeah, you see, the truth is that, we have comments and then we make deductions that don't follow what is happening. The situation, as I keep saying, is not that, see the incoherence in our government. When all this thing started, there were states that were denying that there was no epidemic. We are not speaking with one voice as a nation. The PTF had absolutely no control of what was going on in the other states. We still have the state today, we say there's no COVID in that place. When we have the state where government says that the vaccine is a poison, so what are we talking about? We didn't have a common, and we are said by saying with Ebola, there was a common focus. We all acted the same way. And we're able to put this under control, which is quite different from what we're having today. One state government does one thing, federal does another thing. And we know about testing. Some states were even testing from 6 months, 3 months. You know that there is done from any of the states. So let's not deceive ourselves. It is not what, like I keep saying, what we did, but it's what the virus did not do. I think we need to stress that to our people. The situation is far worse than we think it is. And I keep saying the epidemic that was done both by CDC and NIM and other people showed us that of all the since for 1 year, only about 25% of the people have had immunity to the virus. Which means there are close to 80% out there still, when you extrapolate, still susceptible to the infection. We're not following what we call the non-pharmaceutical intervention. We're not wearing a mask. So the virus is still there. We're still spreading it amongst ourselves. So I think we need to alert our people and stop thumping our chest. It's not you can't be patting yourself on the back for what the virus did not do rather than what you did.
So from your perspective, what are those things either structurally or institutionally that we did in the way to handle Ebola that we could have either leveraged on or improved upon this time around?
The control of Ebola was not at the PTF level. There was an EOC center that was controlling Ebola, an emergency operations center. They were following all cases. They were tracing contacts. They were doing all those ones. So how well have we traced contacts in this place? If your result comes 10 days after you got this, how are you going to trace the contact? Those are the issues we were talking about. I mean, the control of it was at an emergency operations center. We didn't have one like that. I mean, CDC is doing the CDC is doing everything, but it wasn't an emergency operations center. We didn't have that kind of control that we had. And we involved people. The local government, the Lagos State, and all those people were doing all the tracing. We involved the community. I think the PTF and others have regretted it and said that they want to controlling the epidemic. It's not the PTF that control the epidemic. It's the people, it's you and I. Because we are the ones that make those viruses and do the transmission. The virus is immobile. You are responsible. And I think we have stressed from day one that the most important player in this is you, is me. And that's the point. And that is the way we miss the road.
So, but then well, it's 1 year down the line now, and just in this year alone, reports and data from the NCDC has it that we've recorded almost half the numbers, the total numbers in this year alone. At what would you ascribe that to? Now that you say it's us, it's the people, definitely the government has its own role to play and the people have their roles to play. What would you lay this on? Because clearly government has been doing its most to inform people, to educate people about this, and yet this has happened.
Let me say one thing. There's something about educating people at the right time. If you come to educate me after I've committed the offense, the offense is already committed. We missed you from day one by not informing, making people realize that this is a problem. But I'll give you 2 examples. You remember during the summer holidays and some of the times when numbers were dropping in this country, and people don't assume the epidemic was gone. It took the PTF almost 10, 20 days to say that no, it was because we were not testing. Already the damage was done. So even if you have information to people, give it to them at the right time. It is what I call MAD, medicine after death. When you don't alert your people with real-time information and the real-time data. I keep talking about it, but we're making progress now. Yes, no doubt about that. When we started, we had only how many labs? 4 or 5 labs. Now we have over 100. So of course, you're going to get more testing done. But even with that doesn't solve the problem because we don't have enough labs to test our people. That's the point I'm trying to say. And secondly, I think you raised the point that what else could the government have done? As I said, right now, improve the awareness. You find in other countries where the leadership of this is at the presidential level. Not PTF, Paris Task Force that we set up. Not that kind of thing. The president of the different countries took charge of what was going on. We don't have that in our country. And governments do what they like. They say, well, as I remember when it was time when one of the governors said this was something, and then the governors forum disassociated themselves from that. So, of course, what impression you give it to your government? Even the government is not coherent on it. So, who cares? I believe my government, I believe your government. What do we do? Those are the points we're talking about. Governance is important. We started from a background with the fact that the health system, just like you mentioned, was not in good shape. And I think I heard some of the report now that even the COVID has worsened the situation with tuberculosis. We're going to see we're only talking about COVID now. We're not talking about those other effects of the people who have died from other diseases that COVID has taken the focus away. So back to what we're saying, it is back to the people. We are still wearing our mask. And like you said, when you get the vaccine, even with that, and you see how many we're talking about vaccine. It's coming in January, it's coming in February, it's coming in March, it's coming tomorrow. Nobody knows. And remember, and the countries around us, like Ghana, like South Africa, they've gone ahead. There are about 4 or 5 different groups of countries concerned with this epidemic. They are the proactive ones. Those are the ones who even took the gamble from day one and purchased vaccine, even when they knew it was going to work. They are smiling and laughing now. Then there are the post-active ones who, after they couldn't get their donation, and now started scrambling for this, like South Africa and like Ghana and others, who are going out there and making their own purchase, not waiting for UNICEF, not waiting for Gavi or something of that nature. And there are the inactive countries, which unfortunately I think my country belongs to. We're still talking about vaccine. We're still talking about donation. We're still talking about this. They said they put 400 billion to raise this. What do they do with it? And now I'm reading again that they want to do a supplementary budget to do it. What did you do with the first 400 billion you talk about? So that's the level of what happens in an inactive country that we are.
You're saying, because when you talk about the fact that the PTF COVID-19 leading the charge wasn't strong enough, are you saying that it would have been stronger if it was the president? Are you saying that our political intervention was weak because the president was not the one leading the charge?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go look at other countries where they are taking charge of that problem. Boris Johnson in London, forgetting what you like about Trump in this, he had his own group, Canadian government. the governments, I mentioned Ramaphosa, when it was time to do so, he went out to go and pick up the thing. They made points. They talked about it. They had their committees like PTF there. But then the president came out regularly to let the people know, carrying the people along. The president is our rallying point. It's not PTF, is not our rallying point. We voted for the president, not for the PTF. Occasionally, my president needs to come out and say something about what is going on. That's what we call it, and that's why governors from different can say what they like, because the president wasn't coming out to say what they needed to say. They ran on and let's talk with one voice, and we know that our president has said it. And that's the point I'm saying. You don't delegate your authority to another group.
I mean, there are different layers to this response, Nigeria's response, and I think you've quite well highlighted the political angle. But if we could go virology now for a moment, because I think earlier on you said it's not about what we did, but about what the virus did not do. We're in the second wave now. I mean, the first wave was mild compared to the second wave, and I want to say that there might be a third wave and a fourth wave. So, I mean, we don't look forward to that, but I mean, these possibilities are on the table. So if you could just help us explore that area of what the virus did not do in Nigerian context, because one wonders, what more can happen, really?
Okay, let me give you a good example. Over there, the part of the greater majority of people who get infection, are the young people. And they are asymptomatic, but they are spreading the disease. If you look at Europe and other points, in fact, that what we call their demography is different from our own. Japan, all those people, they have a larger proportion of elderly people who have comorbidities and all that kind of problem. So when they get infected, they're the ones that die. That's the death we are seeing. Look at our own figure also. Most of we have the younger population, so they get the infection, but they don't die from it. When you look at the figures of deaths in Nigeria, the deaths are in the older people, 50 and above. So we have a larger portion of younger people who get infected, who are not dying, who don't show anything, they are asymptomatic, but so therefore we don't know that everything is happening. But they're busy spreading the thing around the whole place. But then go and look at the case fatality rate. It is the elder people that are dying who get infected. And so because we have fewer of them, we're not seeing the deaths that we should see. That's what I mean by saying the virus did not behave, the behavior was different. Secondly, because these young people are busy transmitting the virus, and that's where what you call the mutations, and the more the virus moves from one person to another, the more it mutates. It only mutate when it is stagnant. It has to be in people to mutate and change. And the same variants now are coming up. You remember the one in Britain, B117, it's because it has a higher level of transmissibility. So my suspicion would be that some of the variants we're getting in Nigeria, but I say suspicion, there's no clear evidence for it now, that the second wave that we have, which was much higher than the first wave, could have been because of that. We're busy transmitting the virus was mutating and changing, and probably increasing its transmissibility and spreading the thing amongst our people. If the third wave comes, I fear, if it comes, it will be worse than the second wave. Because again, back to the thing, 75-80% of our people are not yet protected. So there's enough people for the virus to go around with and multiply. And so these are simple things. Not people using it and saying it was what my government did. My government did absolutely.
Oh, goodness. I mean, I can imagine how you feel saying, what we have done so far in this fight against COVID-19. But, as much as we don't look forward to a third wave, that will depend largely on what we do with this second wave. Fine, the first wave is over. We probably can't go back in time to fix these things. But we have a second wave, and we have a lot we can do so that we don't get a third wave. Or even if there is a third wave, it's not as bad as this second wave. So regarding our response, which I'd like to stay on just for a moment, have we been able to get tailor-made responses just for our own context? What the virus did not do in Nigeria. What should that tailor-made response be? Not just copy and paste, really, where we see other countries do close schools, or let's close schools, do this, let's do this. What can a tailor-made response look like for Nigeria?
For me, of course, I don't believe in all these mass local, whatever. We identify from epidemiology, that's where data is important. Who are the people carrying this infection? What proportion, what population would they? Where do they find them? Is it in schools? Is it in whatever? Is it in the markets? Is it in other places? You do your basic analysis, and that will tell you where your problem is, and you target that area. not a mass campaign that we're doing, like everybody lock up and then we lock up. I mean, these are basic, and that's where data is important. And that's why our data are important. And that's why we need to then do a proper analysis of that. And then use that to plan on this. But there's a basic foundation to preventing epidemic. It is don't spread it to people. And how do you not spread it? Use your non-pharmaceutical interventions. I said from the beginning that COVID control is not a government business. It is the individual, you and me. If I don't spread it to you, you don't get it. And if you protect yourself from me, then you don't get it. So we need each of us to take the responsibility of the fact that I'm responsible for spreading this disease. Therefore, I must wear my mask. I go out in the street and I'm looking like the only masquerade in the place because no other person is wearing a mask. We are just playing with our life. And we need to get people to know that those basic essentials of life, we must continue that. If we're able to get the third wave that they'd like to come, the viruses are there, the people who are not immune are there. So we continue to have the policy. If we continue to abandon all the non-pharmaceutical interventions, then we're setting ourselves ready for a third wave that will even be worse than what we had in the second wave.
Now, Prof, now that we're getting this vaccine, they say first of this, I think about 4 million vaccines. So if we get that, and given where we are, how should we proceed if we don't have all of these details, properly sorted out?
Let me say one thing. I think one of the first things we need to confront is what we call vaccine hesitancy or vaccine rejection. That we need to solve. Maybe we should have sorted this one out months ago, not when the vaccines are arriving. Go and check out from some of the studies done by people. A lot of people don't try that vaccine. We will have had to begin to counter all the false stories. There's something going on now on the internet, which is saying everything is no to the vaccine. But that's not the truth. We need to let people know. This is an experimental vaccine. This is something people studied about it. So when they're saying no, the answer should be, we don't have information. And then let people know, tell them the truth. And don't tell the fat lie. Will the vaccine protect you? He said, that's not true. The vaccine will protect you. Yes, we need stop from being transmission. It will not. So give the facts about the vaccine and let people make up their mind what they want to based on facts, not on rumors. That's the first approach I think Nigeria. And then, yes, we've had experience with the mass campaign in Nigeria before, but not the mass campaign you're talking about. We're talking about mass campaign amongst children with polio. We had a few with yellow fever. But then how do we do with those ones? What errors did we make in those places? We should be by now we should have all those things. People should be told. And we can't even tell you when the vaccines are arriving. As I said, it was March, it was this, it was that. But then before that time, when the vaccines come, where are we going to get the vaccines? What are the locations? What do I need to do to get it? That information should have been out by now. We shouldn't be waiting for UNICEF to bring the vaccine tomorrow before we start telling people, go to this location to go and get your vaccine. But of course, we don't know what we're getting. We can't even give anybody location. But then you prepare ahead of time. They say, should this vaccine come, you can get it from this place. These are the places you can get it. This is how to what you need to do to get it. Those information should be available now before the vaccines come.
Well, I think the government says by tomorrow, the vaccines should arrive, barring, if all goes well. But you've highlighted some concerns, but what other concerns do you have in terms of administration of this vaccine, storage? Because the authorities say, look, we have this sorted out, and that's why we're going to receive this. We have the cold chain, we will administer them properly.
Well, let me say, you can prepare. You don't know whether you are prepared on the test at telecom. You study as a student. It's the exam that will determine whether you are still prepared well. We don't know whether you are prepared well until the vaccine when we start distributing it. But first of all, obviously, the MPSCD has the wherewithal in terms of, for the vaccine that is coming now, and the temperature that they're breaking it. I have no problem with that one. But it was the Pfizer one in Somalia, 85. I will have big doubts that we will be able to stop those ones. But with the AstraZeneca, Oxford vaccine, I have no doubt about that. There are places in this country and enough storage facilities for us to get those things done. So that's not my concern. My concern is the logistics of how you get, who is going to get first? We should know which group are going to get first. I know they've announced one thing, but you keep hearing different stories from different things. First they said it's health workers, then they said it's security people, then they said bring all the leaders to come and get first. Who is getting first? This information should be clear to all of us. Well, we know how to do it. Other parts of the world, they tell you from the world, people at this age group are going to get first, we move on to the next group. We don't have that in the country, do we?
Prof, still talking about this, there's something you said earlier about our preparedness for, receiving the vaccines, and it raised a concern, so to speak. Historically, people are generally reluctant about vaccines. It's reflected in how we handle the polio vaccines of years back, and already the word is out there, the caution, the cautious optimism, if we can use that term, that some already have about this vaccine, that we have had so many viral infections, so many serious conditions over the years, and none of them has, one or two of them do not have vaccines, and now this one within 1 year. So that's one concern. And then how do we even persuade people to take these vaccines? Previously, you have spoken about the need for persuasive communication. On the one hand is the issues that we are having, persuading people to use the NPIs. On the other hand is persuading people about these vaccines. How do we go about this? Or do you think it's serious enough for us to look at?
Yeah, let me go to the polio something. We had a problem at one time. I think it was 2003, when we rejected. How did we overcome that? We went down to the basic people, the people who are in touch with the common man. We went to the MS in the north. We talked to them. We got their side to be on the side, and we talked to the people. We used the local materials to carry out messages. The street jester, all those kind of things. The people who can reach the community, not the Abuja people. We want to talk to people who are living with the people. So that information, now I said, this information should have been out a long time ago and trickle down to the level of the people. That's the first one. I'm quite, I will not be surprised if there'll be a problem of people not going to accept because of the fake news that have gone out a long time, which we never counted. We accepted it and we started spreading it. So people believed it. We never came out. It was very late about this story about tell the point you raised about the vaccine being made too fast. Yes, of course. There's advancement in every stage of life. Why should we have the advancement in vaccine production? In the days when Ezekiel went to the UK, to America, or wherever, it took him 2 weeks. When the president wants to go to London, it takes him 4 hours. So are we going to go back to what the Ezekiel used to do? So the foundation for making vaccine faster had been going for 4 or 5 years. Just a misconception to say that this vaccine was produced too fast. It's like when you have in your house, you have different sockets. You can plug one socket for your electricity, for your fan. You can plug another one for your TV. The foundation is already there. So it's a kind of plug and take. And so this one, with that foundation, when vaccine came, I'm much faster than what used to be. Because there's advancement everywhere. You cannot take that advancement from even vaccine production. That's number one. So that issue about whether it is too fast. But the important thing was that the issues of safety and efficacy were never compromised. Just like when we travel by plane, they don't compromise that on the plane. When you because it's faster, you put in all these security measures to make sure, and that's why you have the confidence to go out there and go and fly by plane. For me, I'm not particular. Yes, one of the ways in which you can convince our people. You remember what our people say? They don't trust the government. Therefore, let's see some of those government people take this vaccine, and then we watch them, sit down and see whether they survive or they don't survive. Then gradually we begin to build up people's immunity. But tell me, go and get this, then you are taking your own children to buy to go and take another vaccine. Then, of course, I'm not believing you. Do it openly at Ibu Square. Get the big people there, the legislature, whatever. Come and take this vaccine. Then that's what we'll see. Then we'll convince our people that it is safe to take. Those are some of the ways in which you can convince them. And then there's a gradual thing. Over time, people don't say, oh, yes, this guy that got it did not die. He did not fall sick. And therefore, no, I can go there and take it. That's what we need to do. Leadership in this issue has to come from the top. Apart from the health workers, we need to get our leaders come out there openly and take this vaccine. I will be one of the ones, because people say I talk too much. But I will be one of the ones to go. I'll be there so that people know that this time that talks all the time, now okay, you're sticking it.
All right, but we'll find out if they will let that happen. But really thank you very much indeed for your perspective this morning. Professor Oyewole Tomori is the immediate past president, Nigeria Academy of Science. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you, my friends. It was a pleasure.
All right, so we're back in a moment. Stay with us.